This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the Precious Metals Summit 2016 in Beaver Creek, Colorado. With me right now is Lawrence Page from Southern Silver Exploration Corp. It's a publicly traded company with the symbol SSV on the venture, and on the OTCQB, it's SSVFF. Lawrence, welcome to SNNLive.
Well, thank you very much. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you on our program. Why not?
Why not?
So for our audience, let's start with an overview of the company and go from there.
Sure. Southern Silver Exploration Corporation is a BC company. It's been around for about 50 years. It's had a lot of lives, and we reformed it about 10 years ago to follow on the success of a property that we had in Mexico at the time. It's called the Penasquito property. It's in Zacatecas State. And we developed that from one outcrop to a $1.2 billion payday for the shareholders of Western Silver. It's ultimately now Goldcorp's flagship company in Mexico. Having done that, we wanted to use the same infrastructure, the same lawyers, the technical people, the human resources in Mexico. And I think we've done that. We found a tremendous property in Durango. It's in the right location. We have a resource on it, and I think we're well on our way to seeing what size of a mine it can become. And I can tell you a little bit about the resource on the property if you like.
I was actually just going to get to that because, firstly, when you do it once and it was successful, why not try and duplicate it? So is the geology also similar to that property that you previously found and had that success on?
To some extent. When you're exploring in Mexico, the Penasquito property had one outcrop on it and had all the alluvium cover. So a geologist can't really understand what's under the ground. You can use airborne geophysics and ground geophysics, things of that nature. But ultimately you have to use the truth machine. You got to drill into it, and the question is, where do you drill? And in Penasquito, they were able to find the discovery hole and then systematically move off that. The same geologist, a Mexican geologist, who spotted that discovery hole, found the property that we're now talking about in Durango, and he again spotted the discovery hole for us. It's called Cerro Las Minitas. It's an outcrop. It's a small mountain, the Hill of Many Mines it's called. And historically there's a number of mines that have been explored down to 200 meters, things of that nature, dropping shafts down, running an adit or a decline into it. But it's never been explored with modern exploration methods. We did a deal with Freeport-McMoRan, the largest copper miner in the world. They put $5 million into the deal, helped us buy the property and helped us explore it. They thought there may be a large porphyry, copper-gold porphyry under the Cerro. Drilled for it, did not find what they were looking for, went on to do other things, and left us with the property. So that was happy days. And as I say, we got $13 million into it. Some of our money, and you can appreciate it's been difficult raising money since 2008. I call it the Great Interregnum up to the present time. And we were approached by the Electrum Group. And the Electrum Group's a private fund principally owned by Dr. Thomas Kaplan, who's had great success in finding mines, found the big silver mine in Bolivia, and became a billionaire as a result of it. And he liked what we were doing through his staff. They asked if they could first become shareholders of our company. They own about 40% of our company, and they financed at the 10 cent to 13 cent range. It became apparent that we couldn't continue to do that and put the money in the property. So we structured a deal where they could earn up to a 60% interest in the property by spending $5 million, giving us the money. We're the operator. We put it in the ground. We've got about $3 million of their money in the ground now, and we're rapidly spending the balance of the money. So they've earned their 30% interest, and they're on their way to earning the balance of it. What we have done is have a compliant report, a 43101 report, in which we've got about 11 million tons of very rich ore, silver-lead-zinc. It comes out to about 113 million ounces of silver equivalent, large zinc component, and some lead component. But so you talk about it as a silver equivalent.
So Lawrence, I also want to know, is there any other majors who are working in the area?
Yes, there are. The Avino mine is to our west. It's been in operation since 1968. It's a Vancouver-based company. They've added to their mill and to their processing facility, and they're doing extremely well. To our right is, to the east actually, is Hecla, and it is in production, and our property abuts their property. So we have the Cerro on our western flank, and I've told you about that. And what we're now doing is to seeing what lies under the bean fields, what lies under the alluvium. And so we're doing a systematic exploration, which will then lead to RAB drilling, rapid air blast drilling, which is what Hecla used to discover their mine that they're now producing. So yeah, there's lots of majors in the area. Coeur has a property, the Pitarrilla property. So it's the Faja de Plata. It's a belt of silver, and it is truly a very prolific silver area.
And you touched on the management team a little bit, or more the geologist who helped you find the initial drill hole. But can you expand on who consists of the management team and maybe your background as well?
Sure, thanks. I'm a lawyer by profession, but I've been in this business for about 50 years, run a lot of companies. The Snip mine in British Columbia, I was director and a principal of that company. The Eskay Creek property in British Columbia. Before that, I was involved in the Hemlo mine. So there's 2 mines that came out of that. Big litigation area. I involved with that. I was part of that legal group. So that's basically what I've done. Is I've had success in 6 mines, 6 properties that came into production. But that's just part of it. Larry Buchanan, who's on our board and is essentially a nominee of the Electrum Group, found the Apex mine in Bolivia that made Dr. Kaplan all of his money. And he found the Los Gatos property in Chihuahua that they are now bringing that to a feasibility stage. In Sunshine Silver Mines, they have it in an old company which they privatized and will become public at some stage. So Peter Cheeseborough's on our board, and he's been involved in the mining business for some 30 years. Roger Scammell, ex-Tech, found 3 mines and operated them in Mexico. Gene Spearing found and operated mines in Spain. So we've got a group of human resources that we can rely on that know the difference between a raw prospect and something that can be developed and create a lot of shareholder value.
So from what you can tell me, what are some of the goals and milestones for the company moving ahead for the rest of 2016 into 2017?
Would be to see what's on the balance of the property. It's 21 kilometers. It's expensive in Mexico to continue to hold property if you don't explore it. So we've got that program going now. We've got another $300,000 from Electrum. We're spending that. So we'll have a sense of whether we have a Hecla style or an Avino style ore body under that alluvium, as well as doubling or tripling our resource at the Cerro. And so if we can get that up to 30 million tons as opposed to 10 million tons that we've got now, it'll be a very robust ore body which will become a mine. So those are goals. In New Mexico, we're in the process of drilling a shallow gold oxide property on the periphery of a larger copper-gold porphyry, and we expect to get good gold values out of that because out of rock chip samples we recently have over 6 grams there. So it's always exciting when you're waiting for the drill results to come in, and that's what's going to take us through the balance of 2016. And then if we get to the stage of preliminary economic report, we'll have a much better sense of what it's going to cost to be a mine and how we're going to do it. At that stage, we'll be a 60-40 joint venture.
So where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
Well, on our website, Southern Silver Explorations, you can find it there. And we just recently had a great article in the Northern Miner. So if you go into their archives, you'll find it there. And there's a number of other writers who follow us, and so you'll see some of those links in the Northern Miner article or on our website.
And what is that website?
It's www.southernsilverexploration.com. Very tricky.
Very tricky. My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the Precious Metals Summit 2016 in Beaver Creek, Colorado. With me again has been Lawrence Page from Southern Silver Exploration Corp. 2 symbols, SSV on the TSX Venture and SSVFF on the OTCQB. Lawrence, thank you so much.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks very much.